Today we're going to learn how to create a child obligations worksheet with the Kentucky Statutory Child Obligations calculators. The first way is to access the worksheets through the Go button. Simply press the Go button and there you are in the worksheet calculators. You can also come to the Support Obligations button on the toolbar. Press that, take you to the same place. Simply enter your case number in the screen provided. And enter your client names. To prepare a worksheet, simply begin filling in the income information you have. So let's say in this case, the custodial parent is earning $2,300 per month. The non-custodial parent is earning $6,400 per month. As you can see, as soon as you begin typing, the calculator begins performing its functions. One of the unique aspects of this program are the information bubbles. These information bubbles show you the actual math performed. One of the reasons for that is because the worksheet needs to comply with Kentucky Rule of Evidence 901 for self-authentication. You are trying to persuade the court that the child support calculation that the worksheets has made are the ones that it should rely upon, and in order to do that, of course, your evidence must be admissible, and for mathematical formulas to be admissible, the process must be shown unless you're going to have someone to testify in person, which is highly atypical in child support cases. Another unique feature of the program, you'll see these footnote numbers, and the footnote numbers, of course, take you to the actual statute that drives the variable. So if there's ever any question about whether a particular variable should be in the calculation or whether it should be added or subtracted, you can verify, the worksheet is able to verify that on its face. So we've got the income numbers and we already know the percentages, so let's put 2 children into the equation, and as you can see, instantaneously support has been calculated. We've got the percentages for each parent, and assuming that there were no child care costs or health insurance or other variables, and this was it, you'd be done. And you would have your child support number for your non-custodial parent both set out in the calculator, and then as we go down, set out in the total obligations screen. At this point, you would simply come up to the print menu and you would be able to print the worksheet off. But let's work with some other variables here. KRS 403-211-15 allows the custodial parent's obligation to be, child support obligation, to be reduced by any disability benefits that their children are receiving on that parent's behalf. So the calculator has the capacity to enter that. You know exactly what this variable has done. You know mathematically what's happening with it, and there's your statutory support. So let's assume in this case that there's also some child care. So we'll type in the child care number, and we'll also assume that there is some health insurance that's being paid on behalf of the children. So we'll type that figure in too. So as you can see, as I typed those figures in, the computations happen simultaneously. We know each parent's percentage as applied to the variable, and now we come down to basically a reconciliation calculator. So the computer program has brought the total child support obligation down. It has brought the child care obligation of the custodial parent down, and it has brought the health insurance variable down for the non-custodial parent. It's totaled them, and it's given you a result. Now, let's assume that the custodial parent is paying that health insurance, gives you the capacity to subtract that number back out of the formula so that the non-custodial parent's getting a credit or monies from the custodial parent for their portion of the child care costs. Note, you see no footnote here. This means that this function is not a statutory function. All right, so again, if we're finished, we can come up, we hit the print button, and there's our worksheet. Now, let's assume this case was a modification case. We simply check the button. The program pulls the modification, pulls the child support from off the new numbers, KRS 43211 provides for the modification of child support, child care, total health insurance. These are not child support obligations. They are child obligations, but the statute only refers to the number driven by the guidelines as child support. So we pull that child support number down, and let's say that prior to running this calculation, child support was $945 a month. Calculator has determined the difference between these two numbers, and in this case the difference is 9.85%. There's the math, there's the footnote, which will tell you that the rebuttable presumption begins at 15%. So in this case, one would have to argue reasons for modification and would not be entitled to the presumption. So we can assume that we're finished, and we can either print it or press the save button, and I'm going to go ahead and just save it as case 13. CI000 case is now saved, and you can come back. Now let's assume for a moment that you don't know these gross income figures. I have the gross income calculator, which can be accessed again either from this screen at button 2, or we come up here to the toolbar and just click on that button. The way that the gross income calculator is set up, same way, just insert your numbers. No calculate buttons. It does it automatically. And let's say that the custodial parent has a $25,000 a year salary, and let's say that the non-custodial parent has a $50,000 per year salary. What the program does is first annualizes it, so you have make sure you have the right number, and then it takes that and divides it by 12. And then the icon information bubble tells you that this number has already been put forward to the calculator. So we should be able to open this, and yep, there it is. As we go back to this gross income calculator, we can see for the non-custodial parent, the 50, yep, that's right, and 41, 66, 67, and there it is, brought forward. For each custodian and non-custodian, we've also included a Schedule C. So in this case, you can take the Schedule C off of someone's U.S. tax return, input the numbers as described in the Schedule C. Let's say this person has a company that grosses $250,000 a year, and you can see that it's already totaling these and changing the variables. Let's say they have advertising costs of about $5,000. Let's say we're spending $15,000 on the truck expense, and there are wages in there of let's say $60,000. The number that you get here should match what the Schedule C says. You can see that it has also taken that figure and divided it by 12 and brought it forward. This is going to give the opportunity to show you what the program does in a case where child support exceeds the guidelines. So we have the custodial parent earning $16,250, the non-custodial earning $4,166.67. So we're over the $15,000 top of the table. and that's what this information bubble tells you. It's red, so it's really trying to get your attention, and what it also tells you is that in this case we are going to use, once we input the number of children, we are going to use the top of the guidelines as the obligation figure. Excuse me. Once again, once you're finished filling in whatever other sums that you are appropriate in your case, hit the print button, or we can hit the save button, and the calculator will ask for the number. And that's how you create child support worksheet